Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Days. Welcome to another Mattel figure review. Normally I like to have a bit of a laugh and a joke at the start of these videos, but I've got to be honest, I've got so much to say about this figure. I just wanted to go straight into it. This figure is, it's only just hit the UK shelves. I know it's been available in the US for quite a while, but it is the Hall of Fame $1 Million Man. This comes with some great accessories. He is an iconic character as well in the history of WWE, in the history of wrestling, really. I can tell you a little bit about him. I like to do that. He was trained by Terry Funk and Dory Funk. He made his debut in 1975 and he wrestled all the way up until 1994, and then he went into a bit of management. Obviously most famous person that he managed after that was Stone Cold Steve Austin, when he was known as the Ringmaster. He had 30 titles in his career. Absolutely, you know, fantastic kind of achievements. He didn't achieve that much in the WWF. He did win, well, he didn't actually. He did hold the WWE Heavyweight Championship, but that's only because he bought it from Andre the Giant. That is not recognised by WWE. It turns out you can't actually buy the championship. Yeah, they stripped him of it, and then a tournament was held at WrestleMania 4. And obviously the Macho Man went on to win that, but he beat the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase in the final of that tournament. The headline match of WrestleMania 4 was the Macho Man against the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Because he couldn't win the title, he said that he would go off and get his own, and so that's exactly what he did. He went away and he had created for him the $1 Million Championship. It was really just an accessory. It wasn't really about he defended that often. And I can tell you that it actually cost, it was a very, very expensive belt in real life. It cost $125,000 to make. Yeah, he carried that around. He also used to have a bodyguard called Virgil, and he used to treat Virgil horrifically, making him, you know, do all the horrible jobs and tasks that no one would, you know, want to have to do, and he'd embarrass Virgil. And Virgil had enough, basically, and so a match was set for SummerSlam. I can't remember if it was 89, maybe 90, and it was at SummerSlam, and it was going to be for the $1 Million Championship. The $1 Million Man up against his abused bodyguard Virgil for the $1 Million Championship, and Virgil won. It is a great moment. It's not a great match, but it meant a lot. They built that storyline up over a long period of time. It was a wicked moment. One of my favourite SummerSlam moments, definitely. Virgil winning that. Unfortunately, Virgil didn't really kick on. You know, there was nowhere for him to go after that. And so nothing really came of it. $1 Million Man went on to hold the tag team. He won the $1 Million Championship back not that long after, but he became tag team champion and went on to form like Money Inc. with IRS, and they won the tag team titles. I know he was a 3-time tag champion, and really the $1 Million Championship kind of got put to one side. It does make a reappearance, and that is when the Ringmaster debuts. As I said, in 1996, Ringmaster obviously went on to become Stone Cold Steve Austin. Some other kind of achievements, if you will. I can tell you that he was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2010. He was the 1988 King of the Ring. Which I honestly don't know if I knew that or if I'd forgotten it, but it was a real surprise when I was kind of doing a little bit of research on him, that he'd achieved that. I can tell you that he won 2 Slammy Awards for really weird things. He won a Slammy Award because he was the Humanitarian of the Year in 1987, when I think of humanitarians, I don't think of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. And also he was voted Best Manager as well. That was another Slammy award that he picked up. Again, you know, not an iconic manager at all. The Wrestling Observer gave him the Feud of the Year twice. 1982 against the Junkyard Dog, 1985 against Jim Duggan. And as well as that, you know, I suppose the other thing you have to talk about when it comes to the $1 Million Man is his son, Ted DiBiase, who was in Legacy. But also the fact that in 1990, the $1 Million Man had a mystery partner on his Survivor Series team. And he said that he would announce who his mystery partner was at that Survivor Series, which he does. That mystery partner just turned out to be the debut, the first time we had ever seen The Undertaker. That is how The Undertaker came in, and The Undertaker was brought in. I think it was the $1 Million Man that was kind of announcing him and explaining who his mystery partner was. And yeah, it's the $1 Million Man that basically announces the arrival of, in my opinion, the greatest superstar of all time. So that's an awful lot about the $1 Million Man. I've got an awful lot to say about this figure as well. So let's have a look at the packaging. Let's work through it. So there's the figure, and you can see the accessories. I was very confused as to why it came with a basketball, but I have found out since. And also there's a briefcase in there, and that fantastic $1 Million Championship. Really excited about that because it's not about that you can get that easily, and actually it's not about I had. So really pleased to finally have that. Big smiley face there of the $1 Million Man there, and then on the back you can see the same facial expression. It's got a bit more of the picture there. You can see that $1 Million Championship. Shows as well that Macho King Randy Savage and the Mouth of the South Jimmy Hart are the other two that make up this series of 3. There's a bit of information here, but to tell the truth, there's no other information really that we haven't already gone through. It says that he bought his way into the 1989 Royal Rumble, created his own title, as we said. He would often leave $100 bills stuffed into the unconscious mouths of opponents that he'd beaten up. And it says as well that his finisher was the $1 Million Dream, which is a great sleeper hold. Yeah, you know, I think that's kind of everything. Let's get it open. Okay, so got the figure out. Here is the figure. Hopefully you can see the face scan there, and I've got to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of this face scan. And there's one thing in particular that really annoys me, and that is his beard. His beard looks like it's off-center to me. It doesn't look like it's in the right place around the mouth. Yeah, it looks like a printing, you know, kind of issue. It's kind of like comes here and then goes round there. It looks like it's just off. It needs to move over just a touch. Don't know if you can pick that up, and if I hold it there a while, it should auto-focus. But yeah, very annoying. The rest of the face certainly looks like the $1 Million Man. I'm not sure that the hair is, you know, perfectly bang on. Feels to me like the kind of face, beard, facial hair, I should say, is darker than it should be. But yeah, I don't. That really looks off to me. I could be wrong. You could be looking at that thinking it looks absolutely fine, but it's not something that looks correct to me. The rest of it, as I said, the rest of the face is fine. It looks like the $1 Million Man. The body, I think, is a good body. He was never jacked or anything, so there's not, you know, crazy definition or anything like that. So I think the body type's pretty good. You get like everything you'd expect. There's no real surprises other than, and there shouldn't be, but other than the gold dollar symbol on his trunks and on his boots, and you get the same on the other side as well, on the boots and on the trunks. And really that is it when it comes to the figure. I suppose the disappointing thing is there was another Ted DiBiase that came with this really nice like suit, and it was like an entrance greats series. I think it's not a figure I've ever seen. I don't even recall seeing it on eBay. I mean, there might be some on there now, but yeah, I think that is it's a much better face in my opinion, and I think that it's the accessories just look a lot better. I would rather have that suit, which you know, I understand this is going to cost money to create and everything, but you've got to remember as well that these Hall of Fame figures, I think they're around the region of like £22, which is about £4 more than a normal Elite. So we are spending that little bit extra on it. So I suppose I'm right in expecting a little bit more. So yeah, you know, really, don't know. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. I think the figure itself, I can look at that and see the $1 Million Man, right? So on a shelf, not a problem. But if you actually stop and look at it in detail, it's not 100%. This figure for me is a, I'd say it's a 7, a light 7, and yeah, a light 7. Accessory wise, I think they've done a really good job. With the $1 Million Man, you get the gold briefcase. If you wanted to make Money Incorporated, which was $1 Million Man and IRS, then that would mean IRS would have the silver briefcase, $1 Million Man would have the gold one. I think that would look quite smart. The basketball, now this took me a while to figure out, and I couldn't figure it out. I was told, I forget by who, apologies, but basically there was a famous kind of promo where the $1 Million Man said he would pay someone from the audience to bounce the ball, I think 5 times or 10 times or something like that. And this little kid came up and was doing it. Just as he was about to do the last one, the $1 Million Man kicks the ball away. And so, like, you know, the kid's obviously looking dejected. The crowd are hating on the $1 Million Man. It's a great kind of heel tactic. It's something that Kevin Owens would do today, or The Miz would do today. But it's not a spot that I recall. It's not anything that's kind of, at least for me anyway, in the history, this big moment in wrestling history. I'm sorry, but it is still a weird. It feels to me like the Mattel had a load of Barbie accessories, and maybe Ken had a few basketballs knocking about, and so they're like, do you know what? We could probably put some of them with the $1 Million Man, because do you remember when he did that thing? It's like, it doesn't work for me. What does work for me is the $1 Million Championship. That is the belt right there, and I love this. This is an iconic belt. He used to carry this everywhere. This wasn't just around for like a month or so. This was a big deal when I was growing up, the $1 Million Championship. And as I said, when Virgil won it, it was a really big deal. So I can tell you as well that the copyright on the back of this belt says 2010. So it just goes to show that they are recycling, because I should imagine that this is probably exactly the same belt that you got with that entrance great $1 Million Man. But anyway, regardless, for me, the $1 Million Championship pushes it up a whole nother point. I'm not going to give it any kind of a point for the basketball, and I would say that the briefcase stops it being a light 8 and turns it to a solid 8. So that is going to be my final score for this $1 Million Man figure, with all of these accessories and the figure itself, with the case and the ball and championship and the figure and that stupid beard. Then I'm going to give it a solid 8. So, cool guys, as I said, there was a lot for me to talk about in that one, but I've got loads of figure reviews coming up very, very soon. Please give the video a like if you liked it. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're interested in joining the Subscribers Hall of Fame, then check out that video. I did it a few days ago. I can tell you that I think there's about 30 people now that have been successful in being inducted into the Wrestling Days Hall of Fame, and you could be as well if you're interested, so check that video out. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Wrestling Days UK, and I think that's it. I think that's everything. So from me and the $1 Million Man, hopefully see you again next time. Bye for now.